Hello, hello, good morning, you lovely souls. I wanted to jump on here. I hope that everyone is staying warm with all of the snow and things in random places. I know some of you have shared snow in Florida. I'm in Texas. We have snow out here too. Just all of the random things. When I came from Alaska, I was trying to get away from the snow. But here we are. Oh my goodness. I hope that you guys are safe. So I hope that y'all are well. I wanted to get on here because there are a lot of people who are new to me here and that don't know my background or much about me, since I haven't ran a master class or things like that recently. And so I wanted to get on here to share a little bit and connect. I hope that you stay. I know that we often scroll past videos now so quick, but I hope that if you are open to connection that you're here. So I'm Kendra. Hi, nice to meet you. I started this whole adventure of, revamping my life and healing when I was medically retired from the Army in 2016 at 28. And I really had to adjust what it looked like to show up for life. During that same time I was medically retired, I was also a new mom, and I was divorcing my husband, who I married at 18. So it's a big chunk of my life, a big chunk of my identity. And having all of that stripped away at once was hard. But then to add the little sprinkle on top of that, I had been flying from Alaska to California, where I'm originally from, to, visit with and help my uncle and things like that, who was terminal at the time with cancer. And there was a lot that I bypassed in order to survive. I'm sure that you can relate to that, going through the process of whatever it is you need to do in order to survive, right? So during that huge transition of going from active duty, medically retired, all of that, being a new mom, my uncle passed. So I was able to see him not too long before he passed. And I found out when I was at work on active duty, we were about to do a community Mandatory fun event. And I was about to walk out of my office. I was finishing up a report and I got the call. And it was surreal. My uncle was someone who was really important to me, because when I was a child, I was also a ward of the court, which means, I was taken from my mom because of drugs, and we were homeless and living on the street. That's a whole nother story. And eventually he tried to get custody of me, right? And eventually I did live with him for a little while as a teenager. So losing him was very hard during that huge transition period, and becoming a new mom and wanting him to be there, wanting him to be a part of it. My father wasn't in my life as much at that time. And I had just gone to see my dad in prison for the first time as an adult with my daughter. So he got to meet my daughter, his grandbaby. And in the little short blip period from my uncle passing, me getting out, moving from Alaska, divorcing my husband at the time, who I married at 18, and then coming down here to Texas, getting the new house, getting the house set up, my father passed. And when I tell you, at that point, my best friend from high school, who had been there through everything, right? Like my friendships with my best friend, with my sisters, who I also consider my best friend, and just life around me completely collapsed. I collapsed. I only survived enough to take care of my daughter. I only survived enough to make sure that, she saw the goofy, fun side of mom. We'd run around outside, we'd play, we'd do all of the things. And then at night I would drink to numb both my physical pain in my body. I used to jump out of airplanes in the Army, and that took a number. I was in the 82nd Airborne Division, and we ran a lot, ruck marched a lot, went out to the field a lot. And I was also hit by a car when I was running. So my body was finally to that point where it was at maximum capacity, and my mental health was manifesting in my physical body. And my body just said enough. be still, rest, right? I eventually decided to get sober, which was further down the road when after a couple more of my battle buddies from the Army either took their life or lost their life and things of that nature. And I realized that, not only did I have these patterns all around me, right? And within relationships, friendships, generational type things, but I had something in front of me, an opportunity to start again, an opportunity to be better, be different, be more than what I was. And I took that one step at a time, one day at a time, and I started to chip away and try to figure out where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do and who I was outside of the uniform. Because on the uniform, all my accolades were present. They were there, right? The uniform saying, hey, I already did all of the things to become a soldier. My pin saying, I went to airborne school. My patch saying, hey, I deployed. All of these things, right? And then becoming a civilian where I had to figure out, like, who am I outside of the title wife, ex-wife, mom, like all of these labels, sister, friend. Who is Kendra? Who am I here to be? So while I'm trying to navigate this, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I want to continue showing up for people. I tried affiliate marketing, email marketing, because I wanted to be behind the scenes, but it didn't give me the fulfillment that my heart really desired. Like, I wanted that connection. I wanted that meaningful, where I could see it, that meaningful transformation, right? And so eventually I transitioned from one thing to another, just navigating and having fun. And I became a top earner with an MLM company. And then that was, a great stepping stone and teaching tool. And it allowed me to launch Soulpreneur Life LLC, the movement that we are in, and really feel empowered to create the space that I've created today for Soulpreneur Life. And, with that, there was a lot of in between from the start to where I am today, obviously, but it allowed me the space to continue to heal myself in fun ways and be seen and practice being seen. It allowed me the space and the time and the money to invest in my own training so that I could be certified as an Akashic Records practitioner, as a, spiritual life coach, master life coach, and all of these other things. And during that process, I realized I was already overqualified because of my time in the Army, because of my certifications in leadership, because of how I've already taken care of soldiers and deployed with soldiers and taken care of all of these other things. I thought I needed all of these other certifications to validate myself, to make me feel comfortable being seen. And in that process, I realized I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one kind of navigating that. And so it allowed me to show up truthfully, authentically, to overshare and kind of figure out what that looked like and felt like for me and for the clients that I was attracting, and really morph what I've been creating in this movement of Soulpreneur Life to not just fit the demands and the requests and the needs of my clients, but me and where I am in my healing and where I am in my evolution. And I want people to see that they can do something like that for themselves too. So everything that I've ever done, I've led with, let me be the student first, right? Akashic Records, let me be the student first. Let me understand this first, and then let me help other people. The life coaching and all of that, let me be the student first, and then let me help my people. And now, as I've gone and we're years into it, I understand that I love being a student of life, and I love being in rooms where there are people smarter than me so that I can continue to learn. But there's also times that require me to be the person in the room that's teaching. And I love that connection. I love the connection that comes from that because it's meaningful and it's transformative, and it's what really fills my heart so much, so much. And in this world where everything is glittery and gold and all of that, we have to remind ourselves that not everything, well, first, things that are encased in gold, they can't grow, right? So yes, they're beautiful and it's shiny and it's great for now, but is it long term? And me, I'm a legacy builder. So if things can't continue to progress and grow, I don't thrive there because I want to be with people and purposes that are living and breathing and growing and deepening, right? So, um, as I'm going through all of these years, I'm working on myself. I'm going to therapy. I'm doing the meditation. I'm doing all of the things to, align holistically with what I need as an individual and shaking off the mindset that I had from the army of, a lot of toxic things and a lot of toxic things from growing up and being the way that I grew up, right? So there was a lot of mindset work that I had to do. And in doing that, it's allowed me to really, I have full body chills right now, but it's allowed me to really connect in meaningful ways with people that are open to it. And I feel that a lot of other people are waiting to hear, they're waiting in quiet desperation for you, for what it is that you have to share, what it is that you have to leave behind as your legacy in this world. But if we don't show up, they can't find us, right? So I want to empower people to show up to be seen and to, if you hear my dog snoring in the background, now I hear her now, and to really just allow yourself to live in your purpose and feel that fulfillment that, where your story started doesn't have to be where your story ends. And so I'm sharing this with hopes that you get a better understanding and a feel for who I am, what I'm about, how I love on people. And I invite you to check out soulpreneurlifellc.com. We have the Ascendant Circle membership happening. You can totally join us for that, or one-on-one and things of that nature. I invite you to understand that connection is important. There's a season for us to be alone, and there's a season for us to be alone with support, and there's a season for us to be in community, and a season for us to be in community and be leading that community, right? There's so many different stages and evolutions of what we get to do. And you have that choice of what that looks like and how you practice that in your life, in your relationships, and in your business. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Comment below if this resonated in any way. And I invite you to check out the website, work with me if it feels aligned, schedule a discovery call if it feels aligned, and know that when you work with me, I genuinely just want you to feel empowered in being and doing what it is that you're here to do. So if I have an offering for that, wonderful. If not, if I can connect the dots and get you where you need to be, wonderful. All right, I'm sending you a lot of love, a lot of appreciation, and I'll see you soon.